What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here, back with another video, and in this one, I want to talk about a video that everyone has been waiting for, and that is DeAndre Hopkins to the New England Patriots. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts, what he could bring to the Patriots, and what the compensation could ultimately look like. But I do want to start off by saying there are reports coming out that the New England Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens are two teams that are being considered potential suitors for DeAndre Hopkins, and that is per Jeremy Fowler, which honestly doesn't surprise me at all, because so far since rumors have come out that the Cardinals are actually looking to shop DeAndre Hopkins, the Patriots and Ravens are the two teams that I've been hearing about the most. Again, it would make a lot of sense. Now, first off, I think everybody's going to be asking themselves, what are we giving up here? Because I don't want to give up a first-round pick. I want to give up a first-round pick. I've heard it all. Everyone wants to know what you're giving up for D-Hop, and Jeremy Fowler also came out and said he thinks that you're only giving up potentially a day 2 pick. So it doesn't seem like a first-round pick is in the books here for DeAndre Hopkins, which would make a lot of sense also, because even when he was traded a few years ago in 2020, I believe it was, from Houston to Arizona, that did not include a first-round pick, so his trade value was already put in place. He's only gotten older, his contract is high, and he's had issues now staying healthy since joining Arizona, so you're looking at potentially, like a second or third-round pick there for DeAndre Hopkins. And while I think DeAndre Hopkins is a great player, I really don't think that there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be interested in trading for him. One, due to age, he's 30 years old, and once you're a wide receiver and you hit that 30 mark, you start to peak down instead of upwards. You hit a downwards trajectory rather than upwards, and there's a question mark on how much longer you're going to be sustained in the NFL, because again, the best ability, no matter what position you are in football, is availability. And if you're not available for your team, you're just hurting them, especially if you have such a high cap hit, which brings us on to the next point, is due to him being 30, due to his injury history as of late, and due to him being owed around $19.4 million next year, there's not going to be a lot of teams that are going to be interested in that, especially because we have about a quarter to a half of the teams in the NFL are expected to be in negative cap space once the new league year rolls around. Now, obviously, one of the big things that is circling around a DeAndre Hopkins to the New England Patriots trade is because of Bill Belichick. As we all know, when the Patriots played the Cardinals earlier in 2022, there was a video going around of just the admiration that the two had between each other, saying, I love you to each other, saying how great each other are. It just seems like a match made in heaven, and DeAndre Hopkins is a guy that has openly said that he likes Bill Belichick. He would love to play for Bill Belichick, but ultimately, that question now comes in with Bill OBrien now being the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, something that DeAndre Hopkins would have to work next to and aside to really the entire season and take orders from. Is that going to be something that he's okay with? Because Bill OBrien and DeAndre Hopkins didn't have a great relationship there in Houston, especially after that trade from Houston to the Arizona Cardinals, especially for what he traded him for. DeAndre Hopkins ultimately just felt disrespected by the lack of value that he felt Bill OBrien put him up for. Now, it is reported that they don't have a terrible relationship. It's not a hate relationship. It's just they're cordial. And is that going to be a good enough relationship for DeAndre Hopkins to say, yeah, trade me to the Patriots? Because DeAndre Hopkins does have a no-trade clause in his contract. That's what makes it even more tough for the Arizona Cardinals to trade him, is because they can't just trade him to any suitor that they want pleased. DeAndre Hopkins has to sign off on it. So if the Saints hit up the Cardinals and they say, we'll give you a first-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins, but DeAndre Hopkins says no, ultimately they can't do it because of that no-trade clause. Something else that I could potentially see dropping his value in the trade market. And I think if you're DeAndre Hopkins, you still have to go through with it, because you're joining the Patriots, you're getting out of Arizona, you're being in a system you've always wanted to be in, you're still going to be with Bill Belichick, you're still going to be taking calls at times from Belichick and orders from Bill Belichick at time, and as long as you don't have a true hate relationship with Bill OBrien, You've worked with him before, and you had some of the most success in your entire career with Bill O'Brien. I mean, his years from Houston to Arizona are just not comparable. So I think one of those pitching points is, hey, you might not have a great relationship with Bill O'Brien, but as long as both of y'all can keep it clean, you can keep it cordial, then you can have some of that same success you had from your years in Houston. And we're going to utilize you and give you that snap count as a number one wide receiver. Because one of the other concerns here for DeAndre Hopkins is, if he goes somewhere with a brand new system, do they know how to use him? Do they know how to utilize him? And are they going to put him in a position to succeed? If you come here, you know you're going to be the number one wide receiver. You know Mac Jones is going to go your way. You know you're going to get the snap counts. And you know you're going to be put with an offensive coordinator that knows how to use you to the best of your abilities. I think that the Patriots need a true wide receiver one, and that's what's going to take Mac Jones in his third year to the next level. Imagine Mac Jones with a true number one wide receiver, and now a true offensive coordinator that can genuinely utilize Mac Jones. Maybe it's a hot take, but I would feel very confident that Mac Jones, with a number one wide receiver, and now with Bill O'Brien, could easily be a top 10 statistical quarterback in the NFL in 2023. We have seen several quarterbacks take that big leap in year 3 when they are provided that wide receiver one. Josh Allen with the Bills and Stephon Diggs. Jalen Hurts with the Philadelphia Eagles and A.J. Brown. Tua with Tyreek. There is an equation and a solution in the NFL for these young quarterbacks, and especially taking that year 3 leap, a very important year for not just Mac Jones, but the Patriots in figuring out, do you pick up that 5th-year option? Do you have your franchise quarterback, or do you need to start going on that quarterback carousel market yet again? Well, the only way you're really going to know if Mac Jones is your quarterback of the future is to put him in a position where he can succeed. And that solution, that equation that has been proven throughout the NFL for several years, is to get a true wide receiver one for your quarterback if you want your offense to take that next leap forward. Now, if the Patriots do trade for DeAndre Hopkins, they will have him on books for about 2 more seasons. Now, 2023, we already went over that contract. That is going to be actually a heftier contract, surprisingly. Compared to 2024, those numbers do drop a little bit. In 2024, he'll have a base salary of around $14.9 million versus the $19.4 million that he has this year. He has a cap number of around $30.7 million in 2023. In 2024, he would have a cap number of about $26 million. Now, there are rumors going around too that whoever does trade for DeAndre Hopkins, they are going to have to sign him to some type of contract extension. Now, to me, that is a little bit concerning. Already being 30, he might only have 2 good years left in him, which would bring him to the end of that contract. So if I'm the Patriots and I'm signing him to any type of new contract, I'm signing him to a 1-year contract extension, making him a free agent in 2025, which actually could help push those cap numbers throughout the next 2 years a little bit more down for New England and try to ease up some of this money, because I think that's going to be one of the biggest problems is that, Bill Belichick in the past, they're not going to want to take on this, $19-20 million contract this year, because they're only sitting right now at about $30 to $35 million in cap. You still have to go out and you have to sign your other pending free agents. You have to sign new free agents. You have your draft class. The Patriots are in need of not just 1 tackle, but 2 tackles. That's going to take up some money. You have to address cornerback. And so bringing on Hopkins with this contract would essentially be taking up more than half of that cap space that you do have. But again, you can manipulate the cap. We've seen several teams do it. Obviously, most prolifically, the Rams and Sean McVay have been a team that have done that very, very well. The Patriots can somehow do that, whether that's restructuring this contract or adding on 1 or 2 years or potentially even void years there to DeAndre Hopkins' contract. And honestly, I think that this is probably the most likely, in my own personal opinion. I know that there's other guys, like Jerry Jeudy or T. Higgins out there that teams or Patriots fans would like the team to go after. But what you have to understand is that those guys are going to be younger. They're going to cost more money. They're going to want a new and bigger contract. And you're going to have to give up more compensation. You're talking about a first-round pick and more, as we're with DeAndre Hopkins, you're not. So that's what I would see Bill Belichick doing here and taking that steal on D-Hop. But what are your guys' thoughts on DeAndre Hopkins to the New England Patriots? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. But remember, like always, go Pats.